something happens in reality and you replicate that in virtual world. That is called virtual simulation. Now virtual reality is another layer on this virtual world. The idea is we will try to put a human inside this virtually constructed world. I'm the founder of Extended Reality Developers of India, which is India's biggest XR community. We have more than 3,000 members, and we have more than 72 people who are running this community, the volunteers of this community. Also, we are also running some sort of entrepreneur program, business simulation, all sort of things. Uh, I also have another company called Untitled Studios, which is a service-based company, and XRDI is a non-profit. So whatever we do at XRDI is available for free. We don't charge for education. That is our motive, because we believe in that education should be free, and that is what I'm doing here. Uh, Okay, so thanks to the Clinify community. You guys are awesome. You guys are doing so many great sessions, and thanks for inviting me for this one. Thanks to Manav who organized this one. And yeah, you guys are really humble, and I love the way you guys are learning together and helping each other, learning new stuff. So I've been part of several national, international platforms. Like I've been a speaker at Thai Global Summit. I've been a speaker at a World Leader Summit. I've been a speaker at a Global Entrepreneur Week. I've did fundraising for COVID. I did a lot of sessions with communities like Gulfscript, like GDG, like IEEE. I have been there in more than 20 universities talking about virtual reality, talking about augmented reality. I've been into 20 plus universities, including IITs, IIT Kharagpur, I am Bangalore. So virtual reality is the need of the industry, and we are going to dive deeper into that XR industry. We are going to talk about XR industry. So let's understand this. So you might have heard of some of these terms. There are VR, there is AR, there is MR, there is XR. There is also a word called CR. Okay, so you might be wondering that what is XR. You might have heard of some of the term like VR and AR are pretty popular, but you must be wondering that what is MR, what is CR, what is XR. Uh, so to tell you more on this is basically, you might have heard of AI, right? AI has several other sections like AI. In AI, we do natural language processing, which is NLP. We do computer vision, which is CV. We do automations is there. Generative modeling is there. CNNs, which is convolutional neural networks, and all sort of neural networks, recurring neural networks, and all these sort of terms. So all these sort of terms are uh, the the same umbrella which covers all these sort of terms is called AI. So similarly, whatever you are doing whether you are doing NLP, whether you are doing image processing, whether you are doing any sort of task, these are machine learning. These are all somewhere or the other part of AI spectrum. So similarly, in extended reality is the broader perspective, and in that broader perspective, there are several technologies involved, like virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, cinematic realities, haptic technologies, 360 degree cameras, and 360 video recordings, and volumetric captures. There are plenty of subjects to talk about. Okay, okay. So in 2020, you might have heard of these two words a lot: digital and virtual. So you must be wondering, okay, these two are almost the same words, right? What is the difference between a digital and virtual thing? Okay, so I used to wonder years back that why they are two words. So whenever, let me tell you again, whenever you see two words for same thing, they are very fundamentally different things. Okay, they are not. We don't have two words for same thing. Okay, so similarly in this one as well, digital and virtual are different by a very small factor. And what is that small factor? Is this: that digital is the communication between machine and machine. So whenever the two machines are communicating with each other, okay, they are communicating in form of binary digits, which are zeros and ones, and that sort of communication, that sort of uh, ecosystem of communication or ecosystem of how you express, how you understand, that is basically digital. Okay, so whenever we are talking on a call, that call is being converted into some sort of packet, and that packet is basically nothing but basically binary construction, which is zeros and ones, and that is transmitted over the network, right? But what is virtual? So virtual is constructed on top of digital, and virtual is uh, meant to be understood by a human. That is the very fundamental difference between digital and virtual. So digital is for machine to machine, and virtual is for human to human. So now the same time that call is arrived on your phone, you can hear not digits ones and zeros. You must be hearing somebody talking something, right? You are hearing me right now speaking about virtual reality and everything, right? So you're not hearing bits and bytes, you're not hearing Morse code, or you are not hearing zeros and ones, right? So this is this conversion of digital content or digital language into that human understandable form, visual form, you can say, is virtual itself, right? So it's a very thin boundary, it's a very thin line, but it's very fundamental to understand. When we are talking about virtual reality, you have to understand the very word virtual. Okay, now let's come on to, without wasting any time, that what is a virtual simulation. The idea is that whenever there is a physical phenomena, you try to replicate that physical phenomena, reconstruct that physical phenomena into a virtual simulated world. Okay, so whenever you try to create a physical phenomena with these bits and bytes, which can be understood by some human, not by some machine, it's called a virtual simulation. For example, you can see raining, right? It's raining out there, and you try to create a digital reconstruction of that rain. Okay, for example, you can create an animation in which something is raining, or you can create a digital art. So now it's became a virtual simulation of that rain model, right? Something happens in reality and you replicate that in virtual world. That is called virtual simulation. Okay, so it could be anything. Now what is virtual reality? Now it virtual reality is another layer on this virtual world. So now the idea is, we will try to put a human inside this virtually constructed world. When you do it, the human became the key component, the key observer of that human, that virtual environment which is created by you. So you are literally the god of this virtually constructed world, and that makes things really insane, because you can create anything in virtual reality. You can create your own reality in virtual reality, and you can make somebody, some living human being, some observer, a part of that system. Okay, so that is the entire concept of virtual reality. Now what is augmented reality? A lot of you guys might have heard of this, and let's understand the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality. So AR is a very popular term these days. It's popular since 2015, when Pokemon Go released, and and then in 2017, a lot of Instagram filters and Snapchat filters popped up, right? So what is exactly augmented reality? So in augmented reality, basically, we try to bring out some virtual components of these virtual worlds, and bring it out into the real world, and blend it with the very scenario of this real world. Now, in that case, it is called augmented reality, right? So, virtual reality, we are putting a human inside virtual world. Augmented reality, we are bringing out some of the component of these virtual worlds and blending with the real existing physical world. Okay, so that is augmented reality for you guys. What is mixed reality? Okay, this is an interesting one. So let me tell you, mixed reality is nothing different than augmented reality. The only difference you will find is basically augmented reality is referred to the devices which are handheld, which means tablets and iPhones and all the phones, right? So these handheld devices are responsible for augmented reality. But when you put something on your head, which is called head-mounted display, right? whenever you stick something to your head and you use augmented reality, now that augmented reality term is referred to as mixed reality. In fact, this is such a new word that it is being founded in 2017 when Microsoft came up with a device called HoloLens, which is being mounted on the head, and it shows basically augmented reality. So they invented new word to suggest that their technology is very different, right? But it is exactly augmented reality. Okay. Now there is a science called virtual haptics. Virtual haptics is basically, uh, let's try to understand that. You cannot feel virtual models, right? So suppose the boundaries, physical boundaries are existent. You cannot put your finger through your phone, right? Because there is a physical boundary there. But when you are in virtual reality, there's no such thing as physical boundary, because everything is made up of virtual objects. You might have seen this in PUBG a lot. One virtual character can go through other virtual characters sometimes because of a glitch, or it can see past the walls and these sort of things, right? So this happens because there is no boundary. In virtual world there is boundary, but there is no physical boundary constraints. There are no constraints which are keeping character to not go past, right? So we try to create, with the help of robotics, we try to create these sort of constraints. We, with a very proper or with very intelligent mechanics, we come up with some sort of boundaries. I'll show you some example for sure, that how we create these virtual haptic technologies and what they are exactly. I can see a lot of chats are coming, but I'll come to that as well once I'm done with the slide. So I'll definitely read all the messages. So spatial audio is nothing new. Spatial audio, if you have heard of any A.R. Rahman song, you might be referring it as stereo audio, but is it actually spatial audio? So concept of spatial audio is basically whenever you hear a sound, like similarly like the real world, you should be able to refer that from which direction and from how far distance that sound is coming. So you should be able to point at that sound source, right? So that is called spatial audio. Whenever you hear something, you know from where it's coming, right? So that is the technology called spatial sound, and that is what we use in virtual reality a lot. Okay. Location based XR. So if you, for example, know that where that person is experiencing your product, where that person is playing your games, right? You can take advantage of that scenario, that geographical location, and convert the aspect of that geographical location into replicate that same thing in your virtual environments, which makes the virtual thing feel more real. For example, if it's raining in their nearby locations, you can track that, you can verify that with that geographical maps and all that, and you can also make the environment rain. You can have virtual training in your environment as well. It's called procedural environments, which are adaptable to geographical conditions. Okay, so now let's try to understand this market size. So how big is virtual reality market or augmented reality market? Okay, so XR market size in 2019 was $21 billion. It is huge of a money. To compare it, so Facebook bought WhatsApp in $8 billion. So it is uh, almost three times. Okay, in 2019 it became $32 billion. In 2020 it was expected to be $51 billion, and it was. If you go far till 2025, it will be approximately $400 billion industry. Okay, according to this research, according to this survey, according to this report by PwC, you know what PwC is, an industrial corporation. They published a report called "Seeing is Believing," which means visualization is helpful for any field of industry. Okay, I have linked this blog here. It's a very interesting blog. According to it, it is expected to grow $1.5 trillion by 2030. Okay, it is a huge number. Now let's talk about who is investing in virtual reality, and this huge number is going to be distributed in whom. Who's going to take advantage of these numbers? So the answer is this is the landscape of 2019 virtual reality industry. So you can see almost all the providers of technology, whoever is investing in technology is already investing in virtual reality because they know how big the industry is going to be. They have the numbers. They see they see the potential of the technology. So the numbers are there. So you can see there is Marvel, right? There is HBO, Netflix. These are the content provider, the entertainers of the virtual reality. There are technology like enterprises like uh, Google, Oculus, Facebook, Microsoft. These are building blocks of, these are the providers of these technologies. Then there are also distribution channels like Oculus, like Steam. These are all the distributors. Oracle is building one. Next VR, Apple bought Next VR recently. Apple bought one more company recently. So Apple is announced one headset which is going to be about $3,000, which is an expensive category headset, which they are coming from. So everybody is investing because everybody know the numbers are there. That they are going to huge early profits if they start early with the technology. I recently did a video on my channel where I explained that Apple is trying to get into the technology of virtual reality since 2008. So that's how early they are trying because they know the future is XR. I'll tell you why and how. Okay, so in India, you know this. Geo announced Geo Glass. I have this video in more detail as well, so you can cover that on my YouTube channel as well. I'll give you the suggestions later. Okay, so you might be wondering that why everybody is investing in that, what they can do with that, why they are making just games, and I mean why it's just used for games, right? No, you are very wrong. Virtual reality is not just used for games. Games is obviously the 75% part of augmented reality and virtual reality right now, but it's changing. People are creating entertainment stuff in virtual reality, right? People are, I know, I have interviewed a lot of directors who are creating movies in virtual reality. People are literally dancing in virtual reality. I know a friend, I know a two or three friends who are doing this sort of gig where they are performing in the performing arts. They are using virtual reality, blending their skills with virtual reality and making it so more awesome and effective. People are drawing art. I hosted Rosie Summers, and she's an exceptional virtual reality artist, and she's creating art inside virtual reality. So that episode is a must check out. I'll give you the suggestion later. So social interaction. So Facebook recently is investing heavily in Quest. If you have heard of Quest 2, Facebook is investing heavily in that and subsidizing that. Even the kind of hardware they are selling at only $300 is exceptional. It's not possible if it they were not Facebook. Already have huge funds. That's why they are subsidizing the market so that people adopt to virtual reality. In fact, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg also said in he is very passionate about his dreams in virtual reality. He said that this market is going to grow uh, by I mean, he want to see 1 billion people in virtual reality. He is very aggressive with the numbers, but yeah, that's what he want. Okay, scientific simulations are being trained on virtual reality. I have worked on a lot of healthcare simulations in virtual reality as a medical imaging scientist, as I already told earlier. So a lot of business presentation, business automations are being used in virtual reality. I know a friend of mine who has created a virtual reality bank, and it's actually a real bank because uh, he's going to sell the system, sell the technology to a lot of banks. Then you can have virtual reality banks, right? uh, it's being used in military training since years, right? So you might be wondering, okay, there are so many things apart from just games, but how it's possible? For example, if you have a tool, for example, that tool is a screwdriver, you can screw a few nuts or screw a few nails, but you cannot do much more than that, right? So how can virtual reality do all this stuff? The answer is that virtual reality is not a tool or not a single technology. Virtual reality is indeed a medium. Okay, so now you might be asking that what is exactly a medium now? Why do I have to understand that? Medium is anything which we use to communicate between the product creator and the product consumer. Now understand it. In your television right now, what kind of content you are uh, looking at? So the answer is everything, right? So let's try to understand it. It's religious content which is available on your TV. It's news. It's so many TV soaps episodes, entertainment. There is so many educational channels, I'm sure, like Discovery is there. Like so this is a medium, and you can use medium to communicate anything to your consumer, to your watcher, to your listeners, right? Right now at Zoom, we are talking at Zoom. There are so many Zoom meetings being held in 2020. So Zoom is also a medium, and there is no limitation that what kind of meeting could be held on Zoom. Almost everything, right? So your phone right now, the next medium is a phone. In your phone, what kind of content you assume? Of course games, but you assume more than that. Games, you a lot of people might be hearing this on their phones, right? A lot of them. So the phone is a medium. Okay, so similarly the virtual reality is the next medium. It's not a tool, because tool can do one thing or hardly two if it's a good one, but a medium does anything, right? So you can basically, whatever the skill you have, you can somehow blend that this technology, this medium into that, and convey to your audience with this sort of tool, this sort of medium. Now I'm going to show you something emotional, because why not? Okay, so it's a Korean platform. It's a story of a mother who lost her children, who lost her daughter, and this company bring her daughter back in form of this virtual reality avatar, so that she can spend one more birthday of her, so that she can touch one more time. She is wearing right now haptic glove. I told you about haptics, right? So with haptics, she can feel her in feel the touch of her child one more time, spend some more time, maybe spend one more birthday of her, celebrate some more time. Okay, so this sort of use are being done in virtual reality, and it's possible with a medium only, not with a tool, right? So yeah, anything is possible in virtual reality. I know it's not as good as a real person, but it's better than a photograph. Okay, so let's see one of these. Okay, so this is one of my podcasts in virtual reality. I'm not. I'm sure you guys might not be getting the audio, because Manav told me that they might get the audio. But okay, here I spoke about a lot of things, including I created this entire virtual reality set. Okay, so what you can see here, we can go there, we can click pictures. We built a lot of sets, we built a lot of equipment. This video is there, by the way. And my friend is a big fan of Captain America, so I bought him a Captain America suit, and which he can wear, and basically I can wear my Iron Man suit, and we can have selfies together. Yeah, why not? So let's see how he's gonna take his suit. And that guy, my friend Lav Shukla, he was sitting in Canada, and I was there in Kolkata, and still we are spending time together like we are in the same room. This is the power of virtual reality. What we are basically. So we took some selfies. Yeah, here we are. Okay, Garibu ko Captain America. Okay, so I built this fun game, and this was about COVID-19. This was about coronavirus. So here I'm fighting my way with coronavirus in virtual reality. So I built this game on a live stream. It was built in 8 hours. So I did it in two episodes. I built 4 hours the basic functionality, and then 4 hours to make it more visually appealing, right? So I built this game in 8 hours, and it takes audio. Everything you see, all the animations are being played based on how the audio reacts, how the audio spectrum is. And the audio design was done by my brother. He's a very good music producer, so he did the audio for this game, and we built this game in virtual reality. So we are fighting COVID-19 with virtual reality. Another simulation which we did, I insist this one. In this one, you guys might not be hearing the AI voices. because we have an AI in this application as well. But you guys can see this is basically projecting a lot of numbers. These numbers are the current COVID cases. So you can, this is an augmented reality example. You can see I built this to keep track on how AI is going. You can see all the countries name. That time India was at third number. You can also look at all the cities and all the states of India. You can see the total number in India, total cases, how many cured, everything is there. Nationwide percentage of each state. So everything is there. It's a visualization system which we built for COVID. There is a very important detail. There is all the news which you can consume. So it's running in my home, and you can also to make people aware of what COVID is, and to stop fake news, we added these few valid sources videos so that the people can educate themselves in virtual reality about how COVID is or what COVID is. Okay, so yeah, I'll give you link to these videos. Then there are some, yeah, some of these videos I would love to share with you guys. Okay, so in this one you can see this is me, and I'm showing you how Instagram filters are made. So I made this Instagram filter for my channel, which is called XRDI. And this another one, when XRDI grew 1 year, I shared this happy birthday filter on XRDI. So you can blow and the candles will, yeah, that's how you celebrate 1 year anniversary of XRDI. Okay, so let me just bring back the voice on because now the videos are not playing. Okay, cool. So now what you can see here is a QR code. Just forget the QR code right now. You cannot use it. Okay. So what we do exactly, let me tell you what our community does. So we are basically working on AR XR awareness because we want people of India to take benefit of these technologies and build their careers a lot. We want a lot of people to build their careers around these technologies because there's a lot of scope in future. Don't look at what you are getting right now. Just imagine whenever the Apple and whenever the Geo, these huge giants are coming up with their headsets in the market, how much that space you can occupy. For example, you can think of it like right now the stores, the Oculus and the Steam stores, and Geo is going to come up with one more store. So these stores are in the condition like play in the same condition as the Play Store and the App Stores of year 2008. That time there was no Uber on the App Store and Play Store. So what Uber did, they actually created their application and put it on App Store to reach a lot of people, right? They build their platform, their $1 billion company out of that. So it's your chance to come up with ideas and bring it on platform. And since the competition is really less right now, so you can take advantage. That it's called early mover advantage. You can take that and maybe become a even a billionaire. Possibilities are endless. Okay, so but you have to come up with a very good idea and a very good tool. That's the condition for sure. Okay, so for sure a lot of existing companies, like I already showed you the landscape of 2019, 2021, it's even more aggressive. It's huge, but we are in the beginning. It's not better to show that. Okay, so these technology, we try to educate people that why they should do learn more about augmented reality and virtual reality. It doesn't mean that you have to publish a tool, right? A lot of people in my podcast, you'll see a lot of people who are just using it, who are just using Instagram filters and earning money with that. I'll tell you how later. Okay, uh, all the details are on my YouTube channel. You guys can uh, explore that in later. Let's now talk about XR content production. So we have two content companies. So we produce a lot of XR content. One is more technical and the other one is educational in nature. Okay, we have XR entertainment. So we recently shot a movie with a documentary about a doctor in virtual reality. One of our partner companies did that. XR skill democratization, we are teaching people how to get trained with extended reality. Yeah, we have the masterclass available for free, and all the content we are producing is going to be free forever. So it's there on the platform. You guys can take advantage anytime. XR empowerment, we are basically reaching to colleges, we are talking to people, and we are also coming up very soon with the houses and the clubs of the community. So like you guys must have heard of DSC or GDG or Girl Script or IEEE. These are the clubs of college. So similarly, you will also see our name. By the June, we are targeting 50 colleges where we'll start our clubs. So if you want your club to be a part of that, connect with me. I'll give you information how to do that. Okay, so you can lead the virtual reality industry in your college. You can become the face of virtual reality in your college. You can be known as virtual reality engineer in your college. uh, okay, so yeah, I'll connect with me. I'll guide you how. XR networking. So we are basically the biggest platform right now in India for virtual reality. So we have more than 73 volunteers, more than 50 startups which are right now producing some sort of products in virtual reality. We are working on XR growth. Okay, so where do I start? You might be wondering. So first figure out what kind of person you are, what kind of talent you already have, or what kind of interest you have, what kind of passion you have. So whatever it is, you can somehow find way, or help me if you don't. You can take my help if you don't come up intuitively. You can find a way to blend your talent, blend your personality with virtual reality or augmented reality. So I have seen people who are doing art. I've seen people who are design, storytelling, optimizations, who are actually building stuff like gameplay programming and graphic programming. I know people who are good animators and earning huge amount of money with virtual reality, augmented reality. I know a few journalists. There's a good friend of mine called Gayatri Parmeswaram. He's not Indian. She's living at Germany right now, and she has this company which produced a virtual reality documentary called Home After War, and she is a virtual reality journalist. So her opinion is that in virtual reality you cannot hide anything because that's covering everything possible. So yeah, she is very exceptional in role, but she's doing pretty good at that. uh, I have seen a lot of virtual reality influences. Like I hosted VR Girl on my podcast, so she's amazing. She's I think from Chicago, and she's doing amazing with virtual reality. She's teaching, helping a lot of products to come up with their brands, and she's promoting them and earning money with affiliated programs. I know a lot of photogrammetry artists, so I'll talk about that. I used to talk about that a lot in the program, so you can find those recordings on the channel. Okay, so whatever the skill you have right now, there is a chance to blend it with virtual reality and make a shine in the industry. So Siddharth Warrior, if you know who Siddharth Warrior is, he said the same thing, that if you want to find your niche, what you have to do is basically find two things you are good at. So for example, he found it that he's good with neuroscience and he blended it with YouTube. Okay, so be good at two skills and blend them together, and now you have your niche. So you can find anything what you are interested in and blend it with virtual reality, augmented reality, and you'll be a very unique person with a very unique ability, with a very unique cross section of technologies or knowledge, and gain advantage of that. Now, to learn that, community will help you. Like for example, we are extended reality developers of India. As already said, we are providing a lot of educational content which is related to virtual reality for sure. I'll show you. But we are also providing a lot of uh, we are running an entrepreneur program, so we are also providing business solution for uh, people who are really interested, who are really passionate in building their own companies. We are doing uh, procedures like process management and all these sort of technical and skill based programs. And I also have a podcast. So for example, when you go to the XRDA channel, so just go to YouTube and search for XRDNI. Don't go now, go after this session. I hope you guys remember these four characters. I wish so. Okay, so you can go on XRDI after this session, and basically there you will find a lot of playlist. So these are the playlists. You guys must know where is the playlist section in YouTube. So there you will find a lot of playlist, and the most important one in my opinion is this one, XR Masterclass. There I try to provide, I cannot tell you in 1 hour how to start with virtual reality and what is virtual reality at the core, right? But what I can do is basically I can teach you how you can start with virtual reality in 7 days, right? So that's what I did. It's a 7 day program. Take it completed with 7 day, and that's how you learn. So day one, day two, day three, everything is there. Okay, 7 day program. You can also learn from the industry legends. You can we have the XR podcast where I invite people who actually build products, who actually are doing amazing stuff in virtual reality, and they teach how they did that, and what is the product they are working on, what is the core philosophy which they are towards. Okay, so I also host the news so that you can upload, you can be updated with the what's running. We have the entrepreneur mentor sessions. So also check out this mentor so that you can learn about different but related skills to virtual reality, and you can teach yourself. Okay, so these are all sort of links. I have already provided this PDF link. uh, in that, all the link I showed, this is basically this presentation, all the link I showed is there, so you can take advantage. We also have a Discord group, so you can take advantage of that, or if you are interested in WhatsApp, that is cool. Okay, you can contact me in several ways. uh, if you want to, there is also an exceptional starting program. It's a guideline of a game engine called Unity 3D, and it's a tremendous game engine because you can learn a lot of things. You can do a lot of things with Unity 3D, and this is a 3 year program. So it's like you can understand these. I learned these things in 3 years of my career. In the first 3 years, I've been there in past 10 years. So in first 3 years I learned these three things, and these three curriculum. I followed these three curriculum, and I if you start with these sort of curriculum, it makes your ride really easy. I'm into curriculum design, so I've designed curriculum for a lot of colleges as well, like Vishkarma University and Macaut. So these are a few places I suggested them, help them that how they can design their labs or curriculum. So you can yeah, take my advice for that as well. So now we are open to question. I think slides are ended. Let's hop on to question. I can see a lot of 68 questions so far piled up. Let's take them. Manav, can you help me reading them?
Sure.
Yeah, there are plenty of questions.
So yeah, there is a discussion going on about like if the Google AR lenses were failure or not. If
Hmm.
you want to share your opinion on that.
Yeah, yeah. So Google released AR lenses called Google Lens. So this was a very early product, and it was nothing but basically a camera which you wear on your eyes, and it basically give you a basic notification kind of features as well, like phone notification. You can see whatever you are message or is there or something, if you're getting a call or something on your glasses. It was nothing like augmented reality or advanced augmented reality. They signal glass to no indication that they are being watched or they are being recorded in public. So whenever you wear that glass in public, a lot of malls, a lot of ban those glasses because they don't want that somebody shoot without permission, right? So that was a failure reason of that. They fixed the problem in the next one as well. So yeah, uh, like the product. I interviewed a doctor who did a cancer surgery, open heart cancer surgery or something like that, in a Google Lens. So he is Dr. Shafi Ahmed, and he is the forefront of virtual reality in healthcare, and he did a lot of cool stuff. Interviewed him on my channel, so you guys must check out that as well. So podcast is full with educational content about virtual reality. You can fulfill whatever the kind of curiosity you have about virtual reality.
So Another question is, are there any courses on these technologies?
Yeah, so the one I designed, I loved that most. And the reason why I loved my own course rather than other courses, I find a problem with other courses that it's very SDK heavy. SDK is software development kit. So the problem with being SDK heavy is basically the SDK get outdated in every 6 months. So it's since it's a evolving technology in every 6 months, the way you integrate an SDK, the way you build your product is being changing a lot. Even in UX design, there are a lot of changes being there. What I did is basically I build my starting point, my masterclass around the concepts which can stay 15 years for sure. Okay, so if you get yourself trained on those concepts, that's going to be more relevant for longer time rather than SDK. So you get one SDK, but there's an update now. You have to start from scratch. uh, but that is not the case with the content I provided. So there are 7 episodes. In the four episodes, I'm talking about technologies and how the mindset you should have to build something like that, how to start exactly. 4 घंटे मैंने for 4 days I've been talking same way about these concepts. Then what I did, then I covered 3 SDKs as well. So in the rest of the 3 days, I covered these SDKs as well, which covers your very practical needs of building stuff. So I covered a virtual reality game, which is the most popular virtual reality game, Beat Saber. I covered then a solar system, which is again a very useful and very common virtual reality use case. Augmented reality use case, I built a augmented reality solar system. And then in the third one, I built taught to build Instagram filters. So all this is there in the exam masterclass. It's completely free, and you can basically take advantage. It's in English, so it's not going to you guys are not going to have any problem with that. Though there is some audio issues, like my voice, for some reason my mic was voice is totally clear, but it's up pitched. Okay, so you guys might be hearing a weird voice, but it's understood. You can clearly understand it. Okay. So any other question? It's a mic issue. Don't worry.
So another question is, a roadmap for learning these technologies, and what
Yeah,
was your
yeah,
journey?
yeah. So uh, talking about the roadmap, I exactly told that in the session. So there is yeah, in the 7 days I talked about everything. So including what kind of mindset and everything. So everything is there in the that series. Okay. So you guys can learn from that for sure. Okay, so talking about my journey, so I started as a game developer. I started as an iOS developer. So I used to code for iPhone and Mac OS in Objective C. Then I discovered that I got some projects in my company which were related to the place I was working. That was not my company that time. I was employed there. So I figured out some game requirements I have to deal with. So I built some games, 2D games. The platform were Cocos 2D at that time. Then I did C++ Cocos 2D. Then I came to know about Unity, and there the 3D journey started. I then Later I had to work on a AAA game at a company called Logic Simplified. There I learned how to do bigger games and how to build scalable models for virtual reality and augmented reality. There it started. Then I started did my research with virtual reality as well as medical imaging. Then finally I'm running 2 companies oriented around virtual reality. So that is somehow the journey.
That's interesting. Another question is, how far we are to actually have something like Oasis? Is someone actually working towards it?
If someone actually working towards it, what is the question?
How far we are to actually have something like Oasis? Is someone actually
Oasis.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, we are not very too far. So right now we have OSs with bad graphics. with toonish graphics, you can say. I won't say bad graphics because it is a style, art style of graphics. So if you look at, I'll tell you three platforms. One is VR chat, which is the closest one to um, Oasis. In fact, you can now, it's a very recent news. I had to cover that in XR news, but I'm revealing it right now. So now VR chat also support Oasis characters. So you can by default have Oasis characters in VR chat. So they are leaning towards Oasis. Another platform which is there is Altspace VR, and Altspace VR is basically known for events. So Pitbull did an event in Altspace VR. So real events where you pay real money and you enjoy with real people are already there in virtual reality. So Altspace VR is second platform, and the third one is called Rec Room. So though there are many, but these three are my favorite. So I'm sure that there's not going to be one singular channel which is like the hub, like Oasis. There's nothing else but Oasis, but there will be competition. For example, right now we have Facebook, but we also have Instagram, right? We also have Twitter. We also have things like Clubhouse. So similarly, in virtual reality as well, we have many competitors. We are getting close. It's a graphical issue. We have to somehow shift all the computing to cloud to make it closer to OSS. So to be able to render these sort of high quality models in a headset, right? Right now, that's the only way. So we are also dependent on 5G technology. So after the 5G and the 6G technologies, the dream of OSS will come true for sure. Okay, so that is my explanation on OSS and virtual reality. So we are very close. You'll say we'll fix the 5G and 6G networks by 2025 for sure, and then you'll get your OSS or maybe something much better.
Yep. Uh, so now the another question is, what software you use to make VR and AR?
What software we use. So there are two major platforms. These are not softwares. These are called game engines. And don't get afraid that you cannot do serious stuff with game engines. Believe me, I did. Have created softwares which are used by doctors to treat patients or to do surgeries on patients using these game engines. So these are very legitimate softwares, very accurate softwares. Um, these game engines are Unity and Unreal. These are the two most popular game engine platforms right now, which we use. And for 3D modeling, there are plenty of other platforms like there's Blender, Maya, Max. Super cool platforms are there for many years. So that is similar in the VR as well. But for programming, you use Unreal and yeah, Unity. So if you are for example program heavy person, if you understand programming better, I recommend you to start with Unity. If you for example are a design person or art person, or you have already used any art tool like Photoshop, Max, Maya, anything, Blender, then I recommend you to start with Unreal Engine.
Another question, are there any universities that specifically teach XR?
Not right now, not in India specifically, but what I recall is in IIT Kharagpur there was a course started in IIT, yeah, Madras as well. There was a course. Uh, I know about these, but University of Chicago, there are several programs. In fact, yeah, I know them very close. Uh, uh, there are plenty of programs separately, but it's the same thing. You can also learn it from any by yourself as well. There are plenty of good creators which I would recommend more than getting it into a university to learn this. I recommend three creators. These are my favorite creators, so I'm going to recommend them. One is obviously myself at XRDI. Second is Dinesh Punni. Dinesh Punni is a very good friend of mine, and he's living in UK and building amazing stuff. So if you have any queries related to HoloLens and how to do mixed reality, that Dinesh Punni is your guy. Learn from him. He also have his own platform. It's a commercial one, but he has good amount of tutorials for free as well. So take advantage of that. And the third one is Ritesh Kanji. Ritesh Kanji is another friend of mine who's living in South Africa, and he also has his own platform, and he also sold thousands and thousands of courses on Udemy for years, and now he has his own platform in that sector. So learn from them, and even the universities are asking us to create the courses for them, right? So there's no point going to them if you enjoy. Universities are there, but they are mostly for entertainment. If you want knowledge, everything is available for free. That is my opinion.
Yeah, what are the prerequisites for learning and getting into XR?
There are no prerequisites. Specifically, I designed the course in such a way. The master class is designed in such a way that it eliminate the need of any prerequisites. So, in fact, I covered all the necessary points you need to understand before you dive into VR and AR. So that's exactly what I'm doing in the 4 videos where I'm talking about theories, that how to deal with that mindset of getting into that. So yeah, that is already covered, so you don't have to worry of that. Just dive into that XRDI masterclass, and yeah, I'll help you in that journey. If you get any queries, post that on our Discord, or post that on our Facebook group. WhatsApp is not the good place to do that, but Facebook and Discord are the good place to post your queries regarding that. And community members are very very helpful. With the community, I did a lot of things which I never thought possible without when I was not having this community. Yeah.
Also, this question's popping up again. How can we start XR as a first year student? So I guess your YouTube
Yeah.
channel will suffice for the
Yeah,
start.
that is the best place to start. Again, I suggested Dinesh Punni and Ritesh Kanji. Also recommend them as well. There is also Dilmer Vesuvius. He's also a very good friend. In India, there is Parth Anand as well, who's doing good with augmented reality, and he's there. So yeah, there are plenty of resources. Ask me, I'll. And in fact, in the XRDI Discord, all the these resources are linked there as well. So all the channels and everything is there.
So I plugged in the Discord link as well, so you can reach Avi there
So
too.
somebody said can't find Dinesh Puni and Ritesh Kanji on my YouTube. Actually, they are on my YouTube in the XR podcast session, but they have their own YouTube channels as well. So you can also recommend. I also recommend them on their own YouTube channel, so you can also figure out. Okay, so you can search their name on YouTube and it will find you. Yeah.
Mm. Also, one guy asked, I guess hardware in XR is not ready yet, so I'm planning to focus more on software development in XR. What do you say?
Yeah, so hardware is very, very ready. So you have to be very updated with the current technology to get the context. I'm sure you have tried technologies like cardboard, VR, and everything, but that was the technology of 2014. So that is VR is exponential growing technology in terms of money, as well as the resources, as well as uh, the tech itself. Okay, the firmware, the hardware, everything is updating day by day. So right now you can, as I said, you can do pretty much everything available in everything you saw in you can say OSs with the existing hardwares. So right now there's a only less than a gaming laptop cost. Okay, there is a headset called Quest 2, which is state of the art device for using virtual reality, less than $45,000. Sorry, 45,000 rupees. Okay, so if somebody is interested, and if somebody can earn money with that 45,000 rupees, it makes sense for them to invest in that. I know a lot of people are can invest in, and I know people who cannot. So there are also EMI options and everything there. So you can, if you are earning with that, it's not expensive at all, right? So somebody shared link as well. Yeah, so it will help people. Yep, yep, that's one. It's 42,000, right? 42 2000. And in India Mart, you can get even cheaper, but I don't recommend that. Any other question which is important?
Yeah. So the next question is, will we need to wear that heavy set for VR XR? Will it be possible that these reality will be done on a simple headset, say for specs or glasses?
Yeah, in fact, I showed in the slide that the headset by Geo, it's a very slim one, right? So there are many providers which are working on these slim headsets. In India itself, there is also Nemo Planet, which is a company working on a headset, which is seems very promising, and they are coming up with one. It's very lean. There is a China-based company called Nreal. They have a very good and lean headset. Geo is coming with a very smaller one, only 70 gram of weight. So yeah, it's changing. We are improving on that as well. We know the problem. We know the sweatiness you get in those headsets. So we are working on it.
Also, what do you think about Project Arya by Facebook Reality Labs?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? So if you know about Project Arya, you are awesome because you are keeping update to virtual reality and augmented reality, and I just love that. So whoever asked this question, a huge shout out to you. Uh, so yeah, Project Arya is basically Facebook's latest augmented reality or mixed reality projects. So right now they are studying how they can understand your hands better, and right now they are also understanding to uh, gain more insights about the environment you are in, so that they can do a lot of predictive calculations. So for example, they need to understand for augmented reality you need, or mixed reality, you need to understand the kind of environment people are in to basically do any kind of task. I'll explain that why. I have explained that in very great detail in my sessions. So it is a very hard challenge of computer vision. You have to, if you have to understand uh, if you, for example, have to do augmented reality, the very essence of augmented reality is first understanding what you're looking at, and then intelligently decide with the power of AI, decide that how you can make this more beautiful, or how you can make meaningful suggestions on top of this reality. So in the AI, they are doing amazing work, and yeah, seems very promising to me as well.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of questions are done. So let me allow them to unmute. One guy wants to ask some question. Yeah,
Yeah, sure. If anyone wants to unmute and ask, they can, I guess, type the name and you can do.
yeah. Devi, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, Avi. My name is Divi.
Hi, Devi, how are you?
I'm good. I have to ask you some things.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So let me start. See, so like you are working in this VR and augmented reality field. So the
Hmm.
journey for everyone is different. Like some might start from game development in Unity or Unreal Engine 4. Some might
Yeah.
start with coding. Then they might get on to machine learning, neural networks, and AI, and so on. And like some might start with 3D modeling and other
Hmm.
things. So
Yeah.
I am basically learning so many skills right now. I'm a Photoshop artist and I also work with Adobe Illustrator and I do
Hmm.
post production work in video editing, motion graphics, and a bit VFX. So I'm learning VFX right now.
So you
And
are a
I also,
complete package. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just 16 and I'm trying to learn a lot of skills. I'll learn
Very
many
good.
skills.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
I'm
it
also,
is
so I have
beautiful
to
that
ask
you
you
are
something.
learning these skills. And now your question must be that how you can convert or contribute or build something in virtual reality or augmented reality as well.
Yeah, it's like basically I'm also into startups. I know fundraising, equity, and a lot of things. So I like want to ask you, how can we provide services in virtual reality and augmented reality, and how can we like build some startup around it?
Hmm. Okay, so you are 16.
Yes, I'm in 11th.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's great to see a 16-year-old with this many talent, and I must congratulate to you. My suggestion to you is to start small. You can easily find clients, or even come to me, and we can collaborate, or we can provide you those sort of skills, uh, where you can basically pitch a lot of people or YouTubers who are interested in these augmented reality filters. So these augmented reality filters are very good for marketing stuff. So you can start small with that. You can sell these AR filters with small tickets, and when when you have the correct amount of portfolio with filters, you can deviate from that and build bigger services, like providing 3D reconstructions of places, or maybe a 360 video shoot or something. Okay, so start small and then build on top of that. So I think when you will start small with for example AR
Yeah.
filters, you'll get the whole pipeline, you'll get the whole fundamental concepts of uh, getting to a customer, talking and closing deals and everything, right? So you will get the
Yeah,
process, and
and I
yeah,
wanna
repeat
like
the
ask
same
one more
process
thing.
in bigger things. Yeah.
Yeah, like through VR and augmented reality, can you do something like this? Like you can create a computational presence of mind in the cloud or something. Is it possible? Will it be
Yeah,
possible in the near future?
yeah, it's possible, but you don't require VR or AR for that. Uh, where VR and AR for specifically visualization. So as I already suggested, that PwC report says that seeing is believing. So it is related to what you see, right? So you can still create a very higher level intelligence in cloud services or something, and that is exactly what Watson is, right? So Watson is an AI being which IBM is developing right now. So you can create that by AI. You don't require VR for that or AR for that. But when you want to give this AI a body, a visualization or character, or what we call avatar, so then you require these sort of technologies like VR, augmented reality, 3D modeling, so that you can give them a face, a mouth, or visualization or something. Like, yeah, I hope that answers.
Yeah, and I want to like tell you one more thing. Like I don't know you have heard of Sword Art Online or no. It's an anime and it has also like a game. SAO is like a game based on VR. And it's like an advanced level game.
Is
So
it
will
is it
anything like that
interactive
be
anime?
possible in future?
Is it interactive anime or something?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
like an anime in which there's a VR based game. That's like
Yeah, it's
you are in
totally
a
true.
whole new reality where you can feel different things
Hmm.
to that game. That's like advanced, so advanced technology.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch something called Johnny Quest. Okay, in which they used to wear these VR headset and go to these places. I believe I think missing up references because it was very old story. But yeah, please recommend me this new thing, whatever you are suggesting. So I'll definitely watch it. I have no idea right now
And
about.
I have to like ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's quantum computing. Like it's not completely developed right now. People are still scientists are still working on it. And if we would
Hmm.
achieve high level quantum computing, it is said that like AI will advance a lot and cyber security will improve. Messages can be sent with higher encryptions, and our technology will improve a lot in general. As the information would be processed in qubits. I
Hmm.
hope you know that, right? So will it help in AR and the VR field as well?
Of course, for sure, it will quantum computing will help in virtual reality, because it will basically help you. For example, if I talk about uh, uh, quantum computing is basically everything to do with randomness, and basically just like that. So whenever there is billions of probability involved in something, classical computing fails, right? Classical computing needs to do it in step by step, and it will take tons of time to solve these sort of problems where tons of probabilities are there. So okay, so AI and quantum computing, and there is also called quantum machine learning, quantum computers, quantum AI is being developed. I hosted Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay, who's a specialist of this subject. There's a podcast there about quantum computing and machine learning, quantum machine learning. So yeah, to talk about that, the biggest problem with quantum computer right now is it's in very early stage. And why it's early stage? It's not a scientific problem. It is basically a physics
Yeah,
problem.
like it cannot last for a long time. It dissolves,
No, no, it
something like
can.
that.
No,
Yeah.
no. The problem is right now quantum computing requires a very, very, very cold temperature. So if I try to,
Yeah, exactly. Cold temperature. I was just
yeah,
about to say that.
let me share my screen. Okay, so let me show you. It is a very interesting subject, and I am glad that you bring it. Okay, so if I,
And
yeah,
one more thing, like last thing, can I tell you about?
yeah, please.
I'm also into finance. I've done paper trading and I'm now beginning to invest in the real market. I've experience with US and Indian markets, both of them. And I also know digital marketing. I'll
Mhm.
start like drop shipping and drop servicing too at some point. And I've deep knowledge of investing in real estate and the stock market in general. And I possess a lot of cybersecurity skills. Basically, there was this one thing. I've read two books on hacking cars. So
Hmm.
I successfully hacked a car in a simulation, a real car simulation that was made by a former car hacker. And I also know
Okay.
web application security analysis and network security. I know all of it.
Hmm. So I'll come to that as well. But there's a quantum computer called IBM Q, and you can basically access that quantum computer from your house as well through the power of internet. So you can schedule your jobs. They will allocate a time that when the job will get scheduled. Okay, so this is IBM Q looks like. Okay, it's basically like looks like a cube, but if you open that cube, it's actually this architecture, something like this. Okay, so in this architecture, even the whole chandelier thing, this is actually the cooling mechanism. It has nothing to do with computing power. Okay, so it's being used to cool down there must be a quantum chip as well. IBM chip. Okay, so beneath this whole chandelier, there is this small chip. Okay, so this is the quantum chip actually, and there are only limited amount of qubits which you can put in there. Okay, so the biggest problem is keeping it to a temperature of very low temperature. It's around 2 or 3 Kelvin. So it's very hard to get. So you require because there's a physical phenomena called superconductivity, which only appears with very very uh, low temperature objects, and which we need for quantum computer to exist. So yeah, that is a problem. Then we'll fix it.
Absolute zero is also not possible, right?
Yeah, it is possible for sure. Uh, so if anyone else would love to ask anything, because we are right now deviating from topics. So yeah,
Hi, this is Dheeraj here.
hi
I'm,
Dheeraj.
I'm into autonomous driving. Like how this VR field affects this autonomous driving. We have any scope in this field?
Of course, you have. What cannot be blended with VR? Answer is everything. Okay, so for example, if you are in autonomous driving, it's I'm going to give you a startup idea. So what you can do is basically you can start. For example, RTO takes a lot of test, right? RTO takes a lot of driving vehicle test. Uh, and there is a risk involved because people who are very very beginner are trying to give this test on real cars. So you can simulate that with virtual reality, and people can do these sort of tests in VR simulator, which will be very very cost effective. For example, if the whole simulator could be constructed in a cost of a car, but it will be risk savvy, so there will be not risk no risk involved. And there are plenty of things you can do, like uh, yeah, a lot of people are doing that. So you can find ways to blend if you have something unique concept as well. For example, in autonomous driving, VR is an important part because you somehow simulate, you train the models on the existing simulations as itself. So first you train them with existing simulations, then you also train them with existing videos of, for example, street views and everything. Uh, then you finally put your car into the field. So it's a long process, and virtual reality can be involved in that process itself as well, but there are plenty other solutions as well which you can focus on.
I have an idea on autonomous driving. Like I want to operate a real vehicle in the real world using a virtual reality. Is that possible?
Yeah, it is totally possible, but latency is the biggest issue. So it is very risky because of the latency. Okay, so uh, I'm right now working on a similar solution, but I cannot talk much about that. But it is very similar to what I'm right now working on. But
Oh,
latency is the hardest problem. Even a latency of uh, a few microseconds would be very problematic. So a few millisecond latency, there is, even with 5G we have average latency of 10 milliseconds. So we have to deal with that, and the whole system itself has its own latency. For example, the driver has a response latency, then the system has a network latency, then we have a computational latency. So these all add up to a bigger number, which is problematic in real scenarios. But if you can blend it with the automation itself, that since the response is not there, a computer could also take over to the driving patterns or something. So that could be, yeah, something. But why you want to do that? If
no,
yeah, okay.
actually, I am working with Robert Bosch in Germany. Right now, I'm in Germany. So I
Hmm.
work for computer vision and road detection. Actually, I am working on traffic light detection right now. So this VR helps in detecting the road lane markings and traffic lights which we see with the sensors of the autonomous car.
So VR will not help in that, but generative models, the generative AI will can construct immense amount of possibilities of scenarios which will help you to train your entire system better. So yeah, you can even the early systems were also trained on games, so they made their AI play the card of a game for a longer period of time. Even I think I know there is a YouTube stream which is being constantly running, in which an AI is learning to drive and learning on a video game, and that stream is constantly running. So I cannot recall the name of the stream, but I know it exists. So yeah,
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah,
I hope that answers.
yeah. It's fine. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Do we have anyone else?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, Avi.
Yeah, hi Vishwajit. I can hear.
Yeah,
Can you hear?
me and my friend, we are working on a cardboard VR app.
Okay.
It is basically a app in which people can watch their movies and shows in a virtual environment,
Hmm.
like a virtual cinema, like big screen VR on cardboard VR.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
So,
what do
big
you
screen
think
is a cardboard
about
VR.
that? Can you
So,
suggest me some good
yeah,
practices? Or
yeah, it's a beautiful concept, and a lot of people are building it, and a lot of people are building it for educational content. So though a lot of apps exist, like apps like Within and so many more, uh, a lot of them exist, but it is still a profitable business to build it around a niche. So for example, you can choose your specific niche and target that content more. So nobody can target everything. Somebody, you have to go with the niche. So for example, there are plenty of YouTube channels still earning because they are following some sort of niche. They are talking about maybe virtual reality, they are talking about something Python or something one's expect. So when you it's not about the platform is already there. You need to find the content niche for your platform to build, get it profitable.
okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, and it's a good idea. So yeah, it's surely a good idea, but again, cardboard is going to be absolute. It is absolute from the perspective of developers, because Google has stopped producing the newer SDKs for cardboard. So I don't recommend building stuff on cardboard for long, but still it works for right now.
No, I think Google is developing that cardboard XR plugin now.
Yeah, I'm sure they are thinking about something to transform that, but yeah, you can
They
definitely,
are,
yeah, since
yeah,
the
they
headsets
are.
are getting cheaper, the mobile headsets are getting obsolete. So I think experiencing virtual reality on mobile
But
is,
what do you think? What do you think? How much time will it take in India for people to buy that $30,000 or $40,000 VR headset?
these are not 30,000 or $40,000. These are 30,000 or 40,000
Oh,
rupees only.
sorry.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it will happen. It will happen pretty soon, and even Geo is coming up with something which will happen pretty soon. And the reason people will buy is not the cost of the headset or something. People will buy it because all the environments what they are aware of, for example Netflix, for example a lot of them like Microsoft Azure and meeting tools like Zoom, all this will get shifted towards that. You didn't purchase your mobile just because just because you need to make calls. You were making calls on you can say telephone landlines for
Yeah.
huge amount of time, right? So since all these other things which you can do on that, when the whole bundle of that will be there, and you can get more value than just playing games from that. It is still valuable to buy, but when people will realize, okay, this much they can do, they can talk to somebody in person who's sitting there in Germany or UK, so they can definitely will find value in that.
Yeah. So
Thank you
any
very much, Avi, for your
Thank you.
answers.
Thank you.
Hello,
Yep, go ahead.
hello,
Yeah, I can hear you. Shares.
hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello,
Can you guys hear me?
hello,
Yeah.
Avi. I am from AIDS. Uh, uh, what a startup plan for me?
You are from AI and DS background. So what are the
Yes.
acha,
Startup
how
plan for me.
startup plan for you? So I cannot give you a startup plan. Find a problem and then become passionate about solving that problem, because then you can only find it profitable or find it worthy enough to spend a lot of money in it. So
Hello.
it yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Chinmay, I can hear you.
जी sir.
Yeah, so it's
Hello.
a common misconception that using building a startup is the only way to earn big money or something, but there are plenty of other ways too. So you build
Hello.
a startup only when you find a big problem to solve, and then you just work on solving that. So that is the correct way to solving a problem or building a startup around it. So it's better that you don't ask what ideas to choose, because choose it from your own experiences. It will help you in longer run, otherwise you'll lose a lot of money. Yeah, Chinmay, please.
Hello. Sir नमस्ते.
नमस्ते भाई, कैसे हो?
सर अच्छे हूँ सर. सर मैं अभी सर 12 ड्रॉप आउट हूँ सर.
12 ड्रॉप आउट हो आप? हाँ.
हाँ सर, मैं सर कोडिंग के फील्ड में जाना चाहता हूँ. मुझे फास्ट क्या करना चाहिए?
तुम्हें C++ के साथ स्टार्ट करना चाहिए. आई एम गिविंग यू हार्ड बाउंड्री, क्योंकि तुम ऐसे खुद एक्सप्लोर करने को बोलूंगा तो शायद हो सकता है तुम ढूंढते रह जाओ वेयर टू गो. Start with any one language and then you will find adopting to next language very very easy, right? So
फास्ट कौन सी लैंग्वेज चूज करूँ?
C++
C++
के
या
साथ
जावा या पाइथन?
C++ के साथ आप स्टार्ट कर दो. जावा भी बहुत अच्छी है. जावा के साथ भी आप प्रैक्टिकल चीजें बिल्ड कर सकते हो, तो जावा भी अच्छा है. बट C++ भी आपको काफी चीजें बिल्ड करने में हेल्प करेगी. आपको बेसिक फंडामेंटल जो प्रोग्रामिंग के हैं, जो ऊप्स कॉन्सेप्ट्स वगैरह हैं, उसका आपको आइडिया लग जाएगा. अगर आपको और स्केलेबल करना है इसे, तो डिजाइन पैटर्न्स वगैरह भी आप समझ सकते हो बहुत अच्छे से.
जी सर.
और थोड़ा नेटवर्क कम्युनिकेशन एंड नेटवर्किंग के थ्रू भी कैसे नेटवर्क सिस्टम्स बिल्ड करे जाते हैं, इस पे भी आप थोड़ा समय इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो. कैसे पोर्ट्स वगैरह प्रोटोकॉल्स क्या है, TCP IP वगैरह कैसे काम करता है, इन सब के अराउंड भी
हाँ
आप
हाँ
थोड़ा नॉलेज गेन कर सकते हो।
हाँ सर, उसका फ्यूचर क्या है कोडिंग में, फ्यूचर?
यार कोडिंग का किसी भी प्लेटफॉर्म का कोई फ्यूचर नहीं होता है। सो फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू हैव गुड अमाउंट ऑफ स्किल यू कैन
हाँ
स्केल इट
हाँ
टू इन्फिनिटी। अगर आप बहुत अच्छा जूता बनाना जानते हो सो आप वो जूता बनाते रह के करोड़ों कमा सकते हो। सो इट्स नॉट लाइक कि
जी सर, जी सर,
अगर किसी
ये तो
इंडस्ट्री
पॉसिबल
का
है।
बहुत बड़ा फ्यूचर होगा तभी मैं कुछ अर्न कर पाऊंगा। सो इफ यू आर
हाँ
नॉट
हाँ
पैशनेट अबाउट कोडिंग इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी टू कोड। डोंट कोड इफ
हम्म,
यू आर नॉट पैशनेट अबाउट इट। डोंट टॉर्चर योरसेल्फ।
मैं
फाइंड
पैशनेट हूँ।
हाँ तो फिर आप जरूर करो, तो फिर आप जरूर कोड करो एंड ट्राई टू सॉल्व प्रॉब्लम्स विद योर कोडिंग। ट्राई टू सॉल्व, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप C++ कर रहे हो ना तो ट्राई टू
हाँ हाँ
सॉल्व कि आप C++ पे कैलकुलेटर कैसे बनाते हो, या जावा जावा का उठा लो, जावा पे आप कैलकुलेटर कैसे बनाओगे या एप्लीकेशंस कैसे बनाओगे। सिंपल एप्लीकेशन, बहुत सिंपल से स्टार्ट करना, दैट हाउ
जी
दिस
सर,
थिंग
जी
इज
सर।
बिल्ट। एंड
सर
एंड
उसके लिए क्या मैं कोड शेप में ज्वाइन करूँ या सिस्टा कोडर?
क्या?
हेलो
जी
सर, मैं क्या ऑनलाइन क्या जो सिस्टा कोडर है, कोड शेप है, उसके साथ पढ़ूं या क्या करूं?
आई थिंक अगर तुम स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, देखो यार पेड कोर्सेज उन लोगों के लिए नहीं होते हैं जो एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। अगर तुम
हाँ
एक्सप्लोर
हाँ
कर रहे हो तो तुम्हारे लिए पेड कोर्स नहीं है, तुम्हारे पास टाइम की कमी नहीं है। सो पेड कोर्सेज उन लोगों के लिए होते हैं ज्यादातर जो ऑलरेडी किसी जॉब वगैरह में जो टाइम डेडिकेट नहीं कर सकते सीखने को, राइट। वो चाहते हैं कि हमें एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड कंटेंट मिल जाए, और आजकल तो बहुत अच्छे यूट्यूबर्स हैं जो स्ट्रक्चर कंटेंट पूरी सीरीज बना दे रहे हैं। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल देर
हाँ
आर सिंपली लर्न एंड सो मेनी अदर चैनल्स जहां पे जाके तुम्हें पूरा का पूरा क्रैश कोर्स मिल जाता है। किसी एक 10-10 घंटे के वीडियो होते हैं जिसमें तुम पूरी
हम्म
लैंग्वेज को कंप्लीटली कवर कर सकते हो, ठीक है। सो
हम्म हम्म।
थिंक इट इन दैट वे।
इसका
जस्ट गूगल
प्रैक्टिस
करो
करना
एंड
होता तो?
गूगल करो एंड स्टार्ट एक्सप्लोरिंग विद द बेस्ट रिसोर्सेज यू फाइंड फर्स्ट। 4
हाँ,
लिंक 10 लिंक एक साथ खोल लो, सबको एक्सप्लोर कर दो।
क्या उसके लिए एक लैपटॉप होना चाहिए?
बिल्कुल होना चाहिए। अगर आप कोडिंग में आ रहे हो तो आप बिना लैपटॉप के मत आओ, आप फोन पे कोड
हाँ
नहीं
हाँ।
कर सकते।
और सर प्रोग्रामिंग के लिए?
कोडिंग एंड प्रोग्रामिंग इज द सेम थिंग, इजंट इट?
जी सर, जी सर, जी सर। ओके सर।
थैंक यू दोस्त।
Hello, Mr. Avi.
यस या
I'm
कैन यू
myself. I'm Shiva.
call your name Shiva? I
Yes,
cannot
it's
see
my.
you on screen one. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, Shiva. Tell me.
I'm just Shiva. Actually, I'm just studying in my 12th, and in this lockdown, I happened to research about this AR thing, and it even got like interested about this Google Lens and everything.
Hmm.
I have made a small prototype about this and been researching about this for a few months.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I'm failing in finding the proper resources to make it happen. Like I made this type of prototype, and this, I mean, I actually designed it in Autodesk, like in Fusion 360.
Hmm.
But the thing is, I actually wanted to make a startup, which actually mean. Can we like explain about our startups here?
Hmm. Hmm.
There is
तो
this app.
स्टार्टअप आप स्टार्ट करना चाह रहे हो, आपका आइडिया क्या है AR के अराउंड?
Actually, it's nothing but usually while we play these games like Warzone and everything, we'll be
Hmm.
having this when an airdrop falls somewhere, we'll be having this kind of flare kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
Um, and these glasses, which we actually like have them on our head, it will actually project a small screen into the glass so that we can actually navigate to the point to a point. Like usually we're having this delivery guys, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
There will be an app which will be installed in the delivery guy's phone, and that app will be connected to our lens, like to the glasses. When someone drops out a point where he had to navigate, usually people find it hard to check their phones all the time and drive at the same time, right? So that it
Hmm.
makes a person to get into ease so that he can see through his
Hmm.
glasses and go to
So
his destination.
even I know a person who's working on augmented reality helmets. So yeah, I guess that is the kind of direction you want to get in. So she's also working. Her name is Nancy Ahuja. So she's also working on these sort of elements which you can basically use for navigation while you are driving. So yeah.
And actually, I'm going to like, I have collaborated with my brother who's
Hmm.
uh, entrepreneur too. Um, he has this L'Oreal Enterprises thing, and now he's starting one more app which is called Vishwamitra, which provides food to the needy people. Like it gets, I mean, it takes food from the nearby restaurants, which will be left. The leftover food will be collected by the people who install that app, and they'll give it to the people in need. Actually, there will be this delivery guys, right? They'll be helping this process.
Okay.
Yes, we are
Yeah,
actually.
definitely makes sense. If you can solve a problem, add a value, as you said, कि बार बार delivery guy को वो check करना पड़ता है, तो उस case में ये एक बड़ी problem है. I agree. And if you can solve this with your creative, innovative way, then it would be really valuable. So you can also collaborate with me on the uh, end of various ways. You can collaborate with me as well. Connect with me. चाहे आप mail पे connect करो, चाहे आप Discord पे connect करो, चाहे WhatsApp पे. So yeah, we'll try to help you there as well if you
I
have something really good. Hmm.
yes, I actually joined into this meeting after knowing this like about this AR thing, so that I'm pretty much interested into this. So I joined here, and
Yep.
I think that you made an offer here, like collaboration thing. I'm really happy about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Surely we'll do. Definitely,
Thank you, sir.
we'll listen to you, and if we can help, we'll definitely do it.
Can I have your email, please?
Yeah, मैं स्लाइड्स में ईमेल है, आप स्लाइड से चेक कर सकते हो, अदरवाइज मैं चैट पे भी लिख दे रहा हूँ.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'll be mailing you some kind of my design modules to you, so that
Yeah, surely,
I'd like to make this happen.
surely दोस्त.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so are we done with questions?
Yeah, I guess so. I think we can wrap this up now. We had a pretty great discussion overall. The Q&A part was pretty interesting, and the whole roadmap in the beginning was pretty uh, insightful. Yep, I had
Yep.
a lot of fun personally. So thanks for being here, and you all were a great audience. Thanks.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you, Clinify, for hosting me. And yeah, we'll definitely help you if you guys require any future collaboration or if you, any future help. Just reach out to me or reach out to my community, and people are really helpful and they'll definitely guide you in the best way possible.
Yep, sure. The link is in the chat as well for the community and for the session slides as well. Guess we'll end this then. Thanks everyone. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being on the live. Bye.